His death was a sad one because he was young, bright, and talented, but death took him regardless. Word on the streets at the time was that it was a retaliation against 600, with some alleging that he caught 2 bodies before his death. And even though 051 Young Money was suspected and confirmed to have killed LA, there is speculations about happenings that led to his death. LA Capone's murder in 2013 hit the 600 so badly, but before he was murdered, we all thought that he was going to be the next big thing. His rap game was tight, and he had street cred, so everyone believed he was going to put the hood on the map. But LA Capone was constantly getting into fights almost every day, so it was just a matter of time before someone came for him. On September 26, 2013, around 6 p.m., LA Capone got out of the recording studio and was walking down an alley near 70th Street on Stony Island Avenue when an op pulled up beside him. LA Capone was caught lacking, and 2 shots in the thigh and the lower back sent him falling to the ground. A couple of hours later, he was pronounced dead because he had lost way too much blood. Most people didn't even know LA had been shot until Lil Durk hopped on Twitter to wish him quick recovery. The most tragic news dropped at around 8 p.m. when Lil Durk tweeted, "R.I.P. Lil Bro," confirming that LA Capone had indeed passed on. Nobody could really tell who took LA out at the time, and here's why. He had beef with so many and dropped a couple of diss tracks for rival gangs like the GDs. Everybody knew LA Capone was a GDK, so it was kind of like a no-brainer that it could have been them who ordered the hit, although nothing was confirmed yet. But LA Capone was not always a street kid. From his childhood, his homies knew he was special. He had a charming sense of humor, they said he was kind of cute, and everybody liked him. He lived in Chicago with his mama until he was in middle school, but his mom wanted him to spend some time with his pops and take a break from the troubles of the hood. So he left the hood to go stay with his pops in Atlanta. In Atlanta, LA Capone went to school with Lil Yachty. He and Yachty were cool, and they maintained a solid relationship. LA even made friends with a couple of hip-hop heavyweights, like the OMG Girls, a rap group featuring Wayne's daughter and T.I.'s stepdaughter. LA Capone did pretty good in school and kept his grades up. He even played on a football team. After his pops died, LA moved back to Chicago and started hanging around with the wrong crew his mom had warned him about. Even though he left the hood for a while, the hood never left him, and it was at this time that he started dipping his hands in the kind of stuff that eventually led to his death. From a very young age, LA Capone developed interest in the gangster lifestyle. He started doing drugs, carrying guns, and getting into a whole lot of trouble. LA grew up watching kids get killed on the streets, gangsters living like kings, and gang wars louder than World War I, and he wanted in. He didn't just want to be a spectator, he wanted a piece of the action. It was at this time that he started getting affiliated with the Black Disciples and the 600. Lil Durk and Chief Keef were allegedly also part of the gang. It was at this time that he also started taking music seriously. Music for LA was more than fame and power. He loved doing it, and he did it well. LA had been dropping bars since he was a kid, but he didn't take the rap game seriously. He would often feature in music videos of other rappers like Lil Durk and Rondo No. 9, and people started to know him. LA Capone was good, but he never made a song of his own. But being around people who loved to make music inspired him to make some tunes. In 2011, he joined the OTF, and his Instagram blew up like crazy, jumping to 100,000 followers. LA Capone didn't hide his gangster lifestyle from anyone, and it reflected in his song lyrics. Before he died though, LA dropped a couple of tracks like The Gat, Round Here, and So Loud, which were so popular at the time. He also dropped a couple of diss tracks for rival gangs. In one of his diss tracks, Play for Keeps, he dissed a dead GD member, saying, "Shondell, how that hot shit feel?" This put him on the wrong side of the rival gang. Before he was murdered, LA was cooped up in the studio, working on dropping his first project. When LA first told his mom he wanted to be a rapper, she didn't believe him. But once she heard his flow on the track 600, man, she was sold. LA's first music video, Murder, had the whole block bopping. The whole gang was in there, letting the ops know if they want smoke, then bodies be dropping. Even the legendary King Von co-signed him due to his notoriety in the trenches. LA even linked up with Rondo No. 9 for a couple of hit tracks like Face Down. The melodic flow had heads bopping, and it was obvious this dude was out for blood. But he did more than just talk the talk, he walked the walk. This was what got him in trouble in the first place. But the ops weren't just gonna let LA fly, they tried to clip his wings. On September 29, 2012, he and Tay 600 were chilling on the block, walking from 600 to Front Street, when they heard an op busting in a nearby store. Unfortunately, both guys made the mistake of leaving the straps behind, because it was too hot that day. Tay ran one way, and LA the other, trying to get away. But the op wanted LA so bad, and didn't stop till he hit him. Rumor has it that the hit was allegedly carried out by Rodney Bostrell, who was heavily 600K. At the time, 600 and STL were going at it, and members of each set would jump each other when they crossed paths in public places like the bus stop. Bostrell allegedly shot a lot of ops back then, but killed none. L.A. Capone ate them bullets up like there was nothing. Soon, he was in the stew, cooking up tracks like Play for Keeps with his homie Rondo No. 9. A couple of major labels were hitting him up, wanting to sign him, and he even had talks with his mom about moving back to ATL, because T.I. was texting him about several label deals in the works. Unfortunately, L.A. never got to see how far he could fly. Word on the streets is that the hit was a setup. Apparently, someone dropped L.A.'s location for the ops. He had felt a little uneasy about the studio, but he shrugged it off because he thought it was nothing. Turns out, that was just his intuition telling him to run for his life. 600 fans alleged it was Deshaun Carpenter who did it, though the name of the informant is redacted in the original murder report. But Deshaun Carpenter is just a government name. On the streets, this alleged snitch, who gave away L.A.'s location, is known as 757 Hard Knock. The case file for L.A.'s murder identifies that the informant was brought in by the cops for interrogation from Cook County Jail. He was also an audio engineer at the studio L.A. was killed while leaving. The snitch also testified that he was in the studio with L.A. Capone on the day of the hit, although he denied dropping L.A.'s location. Who wouldn't? But there's evidence stacked to the ceiling against him. First, Lil Mick, a member of the 051 Young Money gang, said he was in the cage, same time as Hard Knock and Rocco, and it was Hard Knock who told him where the studio was. Hard Knock also claimed to just be a rapper, so why would he be talking about mastering a track with Robbie Benz if he was no studio engineer? A former 051 member also confirmed Hard Knock's presence in the studio the day L.A. was murdered. According to him, Hard Knock had called up Rockhead to come to the studio to smoke some weed. The studio owner knew shit would go down if Rockhead caught L.A. in the studio, so he asked Hard Knock to ask him not to come. Of course, 051 dudes didn't listen and came to kill L.A. The news of L.A.'s death really hit his friends hard, including King Von, who took the news of his death real hard at the time.
But if you go look at him, like if one of them pictures where he got on a tank top or he got a shirt, he got L.A. tatted on him big as hell on one of his arms. It's on one arm right here. Him and L.A. was real close.
Because they were close while he was alive. Capone and Von were real buddies, so it was really hard to process the fact that he was gone forever. They had been through crazy things together, they dined together, and were at a time locked up together. They shared something so special that Von even had a tattoo of L.A. on his arm. So these dudes weren't just rocking the same joint, they actually liked each other. They were like brothers. Saddest part was that Von was booked when L.A. got killed, and he blamed himself every time for his death. Cam L.A. said Von would just break down and wish he was out when the matter went down.
It happened to the guys while he booked, he be feeling like it's his fault. Like, if I was out, that shit would have never happened.
That's the way Von was. He cared about every one of his homies. Didn't want anything to happen to them. If anything happened, he blamed himself because he felt like he should have protected them more. But he couldn't mourn in jail because that'll show weakness. And you don't want to display your weakness in jail. But the sad thing is, if even if King Von was out at the time, L.A. Capone may not be saved, as they may be at different locations at the time. Cam L.A. also said FBG Duck reached out to him at the time to offer his condolences, but it was all considered fake and sarcastic. In the streets, ops don't mourn ops. It's all considered fake love. In another twist, O-Block's J Hood alleged that L.A. caught a body a couple of days before he got killed, but no one really knows who it was or if this really happened. Ops sometimes peddle stories to justify the stuff they do, so we can't really tell if this was just a cooked up story or not. L.A. Capone had a lot of ops trailing him. His music was spreading, he had street rep, and he was neck deep in a lot of things, so he had haters and lots of enemies. L.A. was like the glue holding 600 together. Nobody really saw this until he died and things started falling apart. He was a young promising act and could have been as big as Lil Durk is now, if only he lived past 17. L.A. was climbing up the ladder, changing the drill game, but his ops creeped up from the shadows and caught him lacking. L.A.'s homie, Rondo No. 9, took the death so hard, and the perfect opportunity to take out the rage on his ops came on February 14th, 2014. Yeah, a day meant to celebrate and spread love. After an altercation involving a shorty they both knew, him and C-Day were out for blood. Unfortunately, they ended up murdering an innocent taxi driver, Javon Boyd. On the day of the hit, Boyd, who was a driver for a Southside dispatch service, was chilling in his car at about 4 a.m. waiting to pick up a passenger on the 3700 block of South Princeton Avenue. Rondo No. 9 and C-Day pulled up beside the cab and asked if he was from the neighborhood. When he said he was, the two opened fire, hitting Boyd 7 times. He was pronounced dead at John H. Stroger Jr. Hospital in Cook County. Word on the street was that Boyd was the driver for L.A., so he had it coming. C-Day must have been slacking that day, as he made a terrible mistake of his life he would end up regretting. He somehow left his phone at the crime scene, probably when he was trying to escape. But even if he didn't forget his phone, he was still going to be caught as the cops pulled his fingerprints from the car, and eyewitnesses identified him as the second shooter. The pair was found guilty of first-degree murder. C-Day was hit with 38 years, and Rondo number 9 got 39, after they were both found guilty of first-degree murder. Just when the ops thought they were winning, the cops got a breakthrough in the case of L.A. Capone's murder. 3 suspects were arrested in connection to the hit, including Mako Buchanan, Michael Mays, and Salhi Hardy Johnson, aka Lil Mick. Apparently, these 3 had been secretly beefing with LA and hating on his success. As soon as they found out they weren't getting out of this one, they started snitching on each other. Each one ratted out who did what, where, and why. Lil Mick and Michael Mays, who were both 051 Young Money, were the hitters, while Miko Buchanan drove a tail car to protect the car the hitters were in. The 051 had a huge score to settle with 600, and they had murdered LA in retaliation for their fallen comrade, 051 Fathead. Fathead was murdered on June 22, 2012, while he was on the way to the store with his cousin Erica. A tan van driven by the ops had creeped up beside them. Before the ops could open fire, Erica had fled the scene, but Fathead wasn't so lucky, as the gunman walked over the body of the fallen soldier and shot him a couple more times for emphasis. He was 14 at the time. Rondo number 9 would then make a reference to this incident in his song Taliban, where he said, "They say we lacking. How the f*** he got a fathead?" Chief Keef also paid a little disrespect to the fallen dog in his song War when he said smoking on that fathead, but there's no proof that neither Rondo number 9 nor LA were part of the crew that gunned Fathead down. Apparently, these dudes thought LA had something to do with it and took him out for revenge. And even if he had nothing to do with the hit, the fact that he was part of the gang meant he could pay for the crimes of his brothers. Buchanan was hit with 45 years, Mays got 24, and Lil Mick got the biggest prize of 60 years. L.A. Capone's death remains one of the most tragic in Chirac, and he'll be remembered for a very long time. What you think about this story? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and while you're here, click on the video to watch more amazing content.